I didn't intend to begin the video like this, but I'm gonna say this now so that most people see it and so that there's no question. Once I've made this, I am taking a break. I have tried 3 times already just making this video. I spent the last 2 months really beating myself up about not making something, and that is not a healthy mindset. So I am going to be healthy. How have you been doing since lockdown? In all honesty, I was really worried going into lockdown for a great number of reasons, but once we actually got into it, and for like those first couple of months, I was actually doing pretty alright, you know? I think it helped that I had a number of projects that I was working on, like the Yu-Gi-Oh video, the Higurashi video. They were some pretty good distractions. I also picked up Big Finish Doctor Who audio dramas. Also been doing a bit more writing, or the kind of writing that I used to do, where I would just make up stories and stuff. The thing I'm really going to take away from lockdown, when it eventually finishes, is this newfound love and appreciation for the stuff that I do really love doing, like writing, being creative, all that other stuff. Because having the time to fully work on it was very freeing, and that's something that I don't want to lose again. I'm not gonna lie though, these past 2 months have arguably been worse. I'm definitely a lot more tired than I was beforehand. I'm arguably more worried. Which sonic screwdrivers do you have? I'll put an image on screen of all the screwdrivers that I do own. I really enjoy the stuff that Character Options have put out over the years, and I've been collecting them for years as well. I quite like the 12th Doctor's sonic screwdriver. It is an absolute shame that this was only used in one series. Also can't help but love the David Tennant original good one, as well as Rivers. Rivers is actually very nice. Not a screwdriver, but I do also own a vortex manipulator, so that's a cool thing. Have you ever considered playing Magic the Gathering? And that was asked by my friend Michael Alexander. And I haven't played it, but I would... I'd be up to giving it a try. When we filmed the second pilot for Yu-Gi-Oh! Lads, we did talk about stuff we could do if it picks up. And one of the things was looking at like other tabletop kind of things, so I think we mentioned getting some Beyblades and doing some stuff with that. We mentioned like other card games, like there's a Transformers card game. I know my cousin does stuff for, what's it called, Warhammer? Is that what it is? World of Warhammer, something like that? Shows how much I know. But Magic the Gathering was one of the ones that we are considering, and we would definitely very much like to do it. And if we do, you're more than welcome to join us, Mr. Alexander. As well as for a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel as well, you cheeky bastard. Very happy to see that we've got some Higurashi questions, so I've stuck them all together. What are your thoughts on the up-and-coming Higurashi anime? I did very briefly go over these in the retrospective that I put out, but I'll just say it again. I'm very excited for it. I'm very much looking forward to seeing a new version of the stuff that we've seen before. A part of me is wondering if there is like a connection to the original, and I'm just excited. The thing I'm taking away from it more than anything is that I'm just excited to see more stuff featuring some of my favourite characters in fiction. And I know that's a bold statement, but it's true. Do you prefer the Higurashi manga or the anime? It really depends. It really does depend. There are some things that the anime does better than the manga. While I haven't read the manga version of what's it called? Cotton Drifting, I would imagine the whole shaking the ladder and Miyuns being like thing is translated a lot better in the manga than it is in the anime. I've already gone over why I'm not fond of that scene in the retrospective, but there are things that the anime have done better than the manga. The only problem is I would talk about it, but it's a very big spoiler, as well as being part of Series 2, which I'm nowhere near covering yet. If I don't cover Series 2, then I'll probably make like a... I've been thinking for a while now about doing a adaptation versus continuity thing for Higurashi, because there are some things that have been brought to my attention that I'm like, about. So that's a thing. Does that answer the question? I don't think it does. It depends. It depends, really. It depends. Why does Mion have a gun? For those who don't know, our resident tomboy, Mion Sonozaki, carries or at least in her casual clothes, she has like a little handgun in a holster as part of her costume, as you do. As it turns out, it's actually an airsoft gun, which I wasn't even aware was around in the 1980s. The reason she has it is probably, I think there's two reasons. Firstly, she's a tomboy, so it's like, oh hey, look, guns, yo. The other reason is probably because she's meant to eventually become the head of the Sonozaki Yakuza group family thing. So I would imagine her having what appears to be a gun is a way of building a reputation for her. I mean, we already know that she's gotten into fights with a bunch of important people, but the fact that people can go, oh hey, when she was a kid, she carried a handgun everywhere, it just adds something to her, what will eventually become mythic status when she becomes the head of the Sonozakis. I get a feeling I'm actually going to talk a lot about Mion's legacy when I get to the next one, actually. So I'm actually very much looking forward to that. What do you think of Umineko? If you've only seen the anime, then you haven't really seen it due to a poor adaptation. I have not seen Umineko, I am aware of it. I'm aware of the connections between the two, with like certain characters and things, but it's never really been one that I've wanted to check out, for good or ill. What's your favourite hobbies? I feel like I mentioned this in a previous one, but I didn't explain it very well. I still consider this whole YouTube thing as a hobby, and that's arguably where it should stay, if you ask me. I like building Lego and stuff. Creative writing, I guess, is one of them. It's not even full proper writing, it's literally just coming up with ideas for things at the moment. Knowing you're a big fan of the latest Hitman games, what are your thoughts on the games before the most recent trilogy? And that's from the Psychotic Enigma, a very good friend of me and the channel. Do go check out his stuff, I'm going to link his channel at the very end. In all honesty, I haven't played the previous Hitman games before the 2016 kind of reboot thing. I really should check them out. Although I've gotten quite used to how the most recent trilogy plays their games, so I'm gonna be terrible at those. When did you first start watching Doctor Who, and have you watched every single episode ever aired? I have told this story before, I'm pretty sure, but I'll say it again anyway. I started watching when I was like 11 years old. So the very first thing I saw was actually a Doctor Who confidential for Bad Wolf. And I was watching it with my nan at the time, and we were absolutely like just loving it. And the way it ended was being like, oh hey, can the Doctor go save Rose from the Daleks? And I was like, oh, this is the coolest thing ever. So I ran home, watched the episode, bloody loved it, and then it ended with it saying that Doctor Who would be coming back at Christmas time, and I was absolutely ballistic, quite frankly. And for some reason it never occurred to me to go back and watch all of Series 1. Because I am an idiot. As for the second part of that question, I haven't seen every single episode that aired, mainly because a lot of the episodes are lost. A lot of the first and second Doctor episodes are lost, so unless you're of a particular age, you haven't seen every single episode, have you? I've seen a good couple of episodes from the classic series. At this point I've seen all the modern episodes, but I've only seen I've seen at least 10 of Pertwee's and 10 of Peter Davison's, and then the rest is like below that. Thoughts on the Moffat era and the Chibnall era, and that's from Koala Bear Workshop, who I'm also going to link at the very end because they do some very awesome audio dramas, and they deserve so many more views and subscribers than they have. Do please check out the Koala Bear Workshop. I obviously want to leave my thoughts on the Moffat era until I actually make that video. I will say now though that it's not my favourite. I certainly wasn't a fan of it when it aired. And even the same with Chibnall. I want to reserve thoughts about his era until I make a Chibnall era video, but also once his era is actually finished. That being said, one of the major differences between my thoughts on the Moffat era and the Chibnall era, while I didn't enjoy the Moffat era, it made me feel something. I had strong emotions for it. I either really enjoyed it or I really disliked it on an episode-to-episode basis. With the Chibnall era, I just keep getting a very blasé, bland... It's just not leaving an impact on me, and that is arguably worse. If it's not leaving an impact on me, then what are you even doing? And I guess we'll end it there for now. This video was meant to try and bring back my mojo, my groove, and it hasn't done very well in that respect, so I'm very, very sorry. It's why I want to take this break. I don't know when I will be coming back, but when I do come back, it will be because I am very strongly happy and passionate about a video, and I don't want to get hooked up and bogged down just by making, you know, random naff stuff. Cool, okay, that's how we're ending it. The end.